Hello and welcome. You're watching News 9 Live. My name is Pankaj Mishra. With me is my colleague Brijesh Pandey, political editor of News 9 Live, and also the branding that we are flaunting here, Kicha Power for BJP. The fans would be ecstatic as the Kannada star has planned or maybe plans to take a political plunge. Ahead of the Karnataka Assembly elections, popular Kannada star Kicha Sudeep, according to the reports, could be sharing a stage with Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai as part of a press conference this afternoon. Per Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai's schedule, there are two press conferences lined up today. The same reports say that the actor Sudeep is expected to join Chief Minister during one of the press conferences shortly at around 1:30 p.m. All eyes will be on Sudeep's political career, if at all he chooses to have one, because he has already made it clear that he has options and invitation from both the political parties, Congress and the BJP, and whether he chooses to go with them or not, or maybe just support from outside, is something that will be decided. As mentioned, I have with me Brijesh Pandey in the studio, political editor of News 9, Bhaskar Hegde, editor of TV9 Kannada, joining us there. TV9 Kannada Digital, and B.S. Arun, senior journalist, both joining us from Karnataka. Gentlemen, let me begin with you first. Mr. Arun, obviously, now that the die has been cast and the dates have been announced, do you believe that this star power to a particular party matters a lot as far as the polls go, as far as the electorate goes?
Well, it creates some sort of a, hawa for the parties to which they campaign or to which they join. I'm not sure whether, that hawa will turn into votes. We recently saw in the last election, the star Upendra, the hero in Kannada films, he started his own political party, but he came up props. He hardly performed, creditably, lost all the deposits wherever his party contested. Now, coming to Sudeep, well, Sudeep has a huge following across Karnataka, very, very popular actor, very articulate, very talented, and also, he has brains. His joining any party will certainly add weight. Right. But then whether that will turn into votes, I'm not sure. Because, Karnataka, the stars rarely succeeded in the past. Except for, say, Ambarish in the recent past, in the last about 2 decades or 3 decades. But other than that, film stars hardly entered politics, and those who have entered, they hardly mattered for the electorate. It's not like, say, Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh, where, the stars, or even those who were part of the film world, like M. Karunanidhi, they tasted huge success and, became chief ministers. Somebody like Chiranjeevi in Andhra Pradesh became an MP as well as a minister. But then his party folded up in a short span of time. And he's nowhere now. He's not in politics. But of course, in the film world, he's making his own news. Others, in Tamil Nadu succeeded hugely, like Jayalalitha or M.G. Ramachandran. But in Karnataka, there is a question mark on the film stars entering politics and succeeding.
Right. Bhaskar, now what Mr. Arun is also saying makes a lot of sense. What happens in Tamil Nadu need not necessarily translate to votes in Karnataka. What are you picking up now? The press conference is slated in just a while from now. Which way would Kicha Sudeep finally go?
Yeah, Pankaj, what Arun said seems true, and more or less. And the information what trickling down is more or less he's not joining any party. I think he looks like he's going to campaign for BJP. That's the kind of information that's coming. Number one. Number two, just to give and give more points to what Arun said. In the case of Ambarish, who is no more sadly, his wife Sumalata is an MP from Mandya, and who has recently joined BJP. Now there is an interesting thing as far as Ambarish is concerned. Ambarish from day one has called himself as a Mandya Vakkaliga Gowda. So he has identified himself as a Vakkaliga and a guy from Mandya, a rustic guy from Mandya. He has no qualms to display this rustic image of a film star coming from a very, very remote background in Mandya district, that too from a Vakariga community. He has not hide this particular identity so far. When it comes to Sudeep, Sudeep is a guy who has a kind of soul, and he has not identified himself as a kind of caste guy. And in fact, he cultivated a kind of persona in the film industry which has gone beyond his caste and the area he comes from. That's why I think what Arun says matters here. So therefore, I think Sudeep also might have calculated all these aspects and decided to campaign first. And probably he might test the waters this election, and probably in the years to come he may take a plunge.
Right. Brijesh, well, Kicha Sudeep has in several interviews and has already mentioned, he hasn't hidden it from anyone that he might, choose not to join any political party, as Bhaskar was also mentioning, and, go with what the fans believe, maybe extend support. In this day and age, you have been covering politics for a long time. Star power. We have seen Sunil Dutt, I remember when he was the sports minister, that was a time when he was also forced to reckon with, and there are many who have made successful politicians after their film career. Do you believe that in this day and age of social media, this kind of star power, any political party, if he manages to get, will it be a damp squib, or do you believe it will make some dent?
Well, I think it will help the BJP or any party which Kicha Sudeep supports.
Right.
But how much will that help is a question which we have to analyze, we have to understand. See, based on my understanding, I have seen several stars who are hugely insanely popular, but very few have been able to make the transition as a successful politician, or like somebody who has been able to win the entire election on his own charisma and all. There aren't many claimant for that coveted situation. And I think, Kicha Sudeep joining is like a BJP getting a big star, endorsing them, a big star campaigning for them. That will definitely get them some votes, and that will definitely, swing a bit of narrative in their favor. But if somebody is to say that, that this narrative or him joining the BJP will decisively swing the election in favor of the BJP, or would be, much of a stretch. So I think, yes, I mean, because he's a very famous star, he's a famous Kannada superstar. So people will come to, watch him, people will come to, listen to him. But whether that will translate into vote is something, we'll have to wait and watch. We have seen, if you go to the stars like Rajnikant, Kamal Hassan and others, they thought of, entering into politics and deciding pretty early that, that this, it's easier to have that kind of fan following from outside the politics rather than entering it and then, realizing to your dismay that the situation is not that honky-dory as far as the trough travels of politics is concerned. So I don't think the fortune of the election or anything is going to be turned just because Kicha Sudeep has joined. But yes, it will definitely get them some eyeballs. They'll be swelling in the crowds because, people would want to come and see and hear what he has to say. But the crucial question is that, will it translate that much into vote? Will it gain a moment? Will it help start a momentum which will help BJP in a big way? I think that we'll have to, wait and watch. But I personally, if you ask me, I don't think that much is going to happen. Any star, gone are the days when any star has a potential to completely, swing the election narrative in favor of political party. I'm yet to see in the last decade or so.
Right. Mr. Arun, also, as Brijesh was mentioning, for a superstar like Kicha Sudeep, he also understands what is at stake. And obviously, the examples that are there, what all three of you have just narrated, it looks like Kicha Sudeep would choose in a manner to, stay at a safer distance as far as the political gimmick is concerned, political gig is concerned. But share with us, what is the political situation as of now in Karnataka? Just a few weeks from the elections, the parties are trying to woo superstars. They are trading barbs with each other as far as corruption is concerned. But by far, you and I would agree that Karnataka has the most modern, the most awakened voters, if I may say so, not disrespecting voters of any other state, but how this time around you perceive the voting would be different as far as vis-a-vis the previous patterns are concerned?
Yes, as you mentioned, if you take assembly elections, Karnataka has voted differently. They are not swayed by the massive mandate that a party receives at the national level. We have seen it in 1985 when Congress, returned to parliament with a huge majority of over 370 seats. And this made Ramakrishna Hegde, dissolve the assembly and go to the elections. Surprise there. Ramakrishna Hegde came back with a majority. He didn't have majority earlier, but he came back with a majority. So that is the kind of the maturity that the Karnataka voters had shown then. I think it may not be very different now either. But whether the ever since then, one more point was the party had not returned. The ruling party had not returned to power in Karnataka, and whether Bommai and his colleagues, as well as Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah, would change this, change this history, that remains to be seen. As of now, the focus is on selection of candidates. Both the parties, as well as even Janata Dal, they are very cautiously treating, in this in this regard. And any day, the parties may come up with their lists. Janata Dal and Congress have already come out with their first list. BJP is yet to do so, and they might announce their first list around 10. That's what I think Bommai has mentioned. As of now, this is the scenario that is happening. The campaign will start, I think, once the candidates list is finalized. And
once the candidates list is out, then obviously that would be the time when obviously the actual action would begin. Bhaskar, what are you picking up? What is the sense there, and what changes, what doesn't change this time around in Karnataka?
One factor I think I would like to highlight here is the narrative that opposition Congress has set so far on corruption, on various other issues, has seems to be died down, because in the last couple of weeks or so, Congress hasn't come out with any kind of new narrative except repeating the same. That's the first point I observed. Number two, on the contrary, BJP getting Prime Minister, Home Minister, and of course JP Nadda is visiting all the mutts and various other organizations. So they're trying to have a different kind of strategy as the ruling party in Karnataka. But this particular aspect of opposition, peaking, my hunch is whether Congress in the building narrative, in the campaign and so far issues, building a kind of narrative among public, whether it peaked little early, I guess so, because it looks like in the last 2 weeks or so, Congress campaign is not very effective. People are not speaking about that. That's one. The next, as Arun mentioned, the very important critical point is announcement of candidates. Once the announcement of list is out, then I think Congress may come out with some kind of narrative.
Stay with us, Bhaskar and Arun. The reports of what we are getting as of now is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi could be addressing as many as 20 public rallies in the poll-bound state of Karnataka in a span of 30 days. BJP sources have quoted in reports that how his first few visits to the state helped the Saffron Party gain momentum and also set the tone for the upcoming campaign. The Prime Minister will be visiting Karnataka for the 7th time on April 9th on the occasion of the completion of 50 years of the Project Tiger. But whether his high-voltage rallies will be successful in tilting the wave towards the Saffron Party and beating the anti-incumbency factor remains to be seen. We have Mr. Arun, Bhaskar Hegde and Brijesh with us in the studio. Brijesh, first things first, how do you see this whirlwind, 30 days, 20 campaigns? Is BJP back to Modi power once again?
Well, I think BJP never left the Modi power. If you see all the state assembly elections, Prime Minister Modi remains the BJP's trump card right from 2014 onwards. After coming to power, be it Uttar Pradesh, where he does approximately, because it's a very big state. He does several rallies phase-wise, and if you remember, he stayed back in Varanasi for 2 to 3 days in both elections, and the kind of seats which BJP won is a testimony to his popularity over there. See, the Prime Minister, it has been seen, tried and tested, has been one of the biggest catalysts as far as getting votes for the BJP is concerned. And going by the scenario which is unfolding in the state of Karnataka, where Bommai is not Yedurappa, and Yedurappa has been shown the door, I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi, apart from various other regional factors, remains the biggest click as far as the fortunes of BJP is concerned. And this is the reason why they want to do a blitzkrieg of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's rally in the next 1 month's time, so that they can get maximum advantage. See, it is not a new operation into play. If you remember, the Prime Minister started with the fact that after Yedurappa was, they had first accommodated him into the parliamentary board, which is the highest decision-making body of the BJP. Post that, the Prime Minister himself went and look at them in these visuals which are being played on the screen. He accorded Yedurappa the kind of respect which, which not many in the BJP would claim to have. So it was very crystal clear right from the word go that the Prime Minister would be leading from the front. So this news particularly has not come as a surprise to me.
Right. Also, Mr. Arun, now talking about the stalwarts that BJP has in Karnataka and the kind of choices that have been made this time around with the retirement of B.S. Yedurappa, yet very much there in the picture. Do you believe that BJP, as of now, needs Prime Minister Modi's support more than ever when it comes to taking on corruption, which is something that the state government is facing the heat on, and also talking about the developmental projects, about the double-engine government there?
Yes, absolutely. I would like to just club one more point here. It's about the local leaders. In any state election, the local leaders also matter a lot. But now, first coming to the Modi factor, Modi has visited Karnataka since January 7 times, and reports are that he is going to address some 20 rallies in the next, one hour, in next about 6
1
weeks.
month's time.
So that's quite a bit. But then knowing Modi, knowing BJP being a very, very effective election machine, having leaders like Modi as well as Amit Shah, it's no surprise that they will go all out to ensure that the party wins in the state. Whether that will happen or not is a different question. But then BJP undoubtedly will leave no stone unturned to ensure their campaign turns effective on the ground. Modi, as you may recall, has not really touched on the state government's programs or successes, but then he mainly stressed the welfare and developmental works carried out by his government, the central government, in various states, including in Karnataka. And his focus had been also on the infrastructure development, including in Karnataka, like the Bangalore-Mysore highway that he inaugurated, and the Shimoga airport that he inaugurated, and various other welfare programs that the government gave. So this all goes to show that perhaps BJP is a little hesitant, to turn its focus on the state government, and that's perhaps the reason why the center's programs have been given more stress by the BJP. At the same time, BJP has understood the local factors quite well and brought back Yedurappa, who had been sort of in a had faced a setback ever since he had. Yedurappa being at the forefront, along with Modi, I think is a clever ploy by the BJP to ensure that the local leader is given respect and has been, it has shown the confidence in the leadership of Yedurappa, and also made leaders like Bommai, Shobha Karandlaje as the campaign committee and election committee chiefs, and this is giving power to the local leaders who otherwise are also effective in their strategies. So I think BJP's strategy so far has been quite good. Only thing is, it remains to be seen whether on 10th, whether these things will turn into votes in their favor.
Right, Bhaskar, also, obviously, Modi's blitzkrieg in Karnataka is something that the BJP is known to be doing. They get into the thick of things right from the word go. How is Congress planning to counter this? Do they have their own plans? They are riding high as of now as far as the corruption, anti-corruption tirade is concerned against the ruling government there. But do you think Congress would need more than just that?
Pankaj, very interestingly, today, one of the leading newspapers carried a story saying that they have asked the local leaders not to target Modi too much.
Right.
That's one interesting factor. Whether it's true or not, we have to. It will come out in a day or two as the party leaders come back from Delhi. So, very interesting factor is the local leaders have been asked not to target and attack Modi. Is a one interesting factor. Number one. Number two, as far as Congress is concerned, Congress is very comfortable at this moment with respect to the candidates list. The first list is out, 124 candidates they have announced. There is no murmur about 124. The only give and take has to happen about the rest of the 100 seats. I guess another 40 or 50 seats. There's a lot of problematic area in 50 areas. If Congress sorts out this, mainly the ticket distribution, number one. Number two, the rebels and those who missed their tickets, if they manages to contain and convince them and persuade them to canvass for the official nominees, I think Congress can give a really, really good fight to BJP.
Right. Brajesh, in politics, we have seen that sympathy is garnered through several measures. It's not just necessarily a sad passing away of a tall leader that only can a party get the sympathy. Do you believe that at times hitting below the belt or calling out names in public too often gives the other opposition party, gives the other party an advantage over those who are actually calling out the names, in case what Congress might be referring to its cadres as of now?
Well, yes, it does. And the example was in the state of West Bengal, where, the Prime Minister's remark, Didi, oh Didi, did not go down well, and it received a lot of criticism. There also, the BJP were there with all its might. All the cabinet ministers were assigned particular areas, and they were campaigning for them, apart from attending, of course, their official duties as a cabinet minister. The entire might of the government was there. But this particular this particular dialogue didn't go down well, as many would have expected, and the Trinamool Congress was able to bounce back based on this particular statement. See, the point is that the Congress right now seems to have a decisive edge, but the biggest problem would be, as both our esteemed guests were also pointing out at, is that if they don't commit any sort of harakiri, getting a list which triggers a kind of factional fight within the party would definitely not augur good situation as far as the Congress party is concerned. Several times we have seen how a spirited local party leader, be in the case of Trinamool Congress, or be in case of Aam Aadmi Party, where, despite all the might of BJP, just because the opposition has run a very tight campaign, ensuring that there is no scope for any kind of verbal slip which allows the BJP to latch onto and use it to their advantage. They have been able to defeat BJP fairly and squarely. So I don't see why cannot Congress replicate that in the state of Karnataka. If they don't, we also getting to hear from our sources that the Karnataka Congress have been asked to desist from making any kind of statement against Prime Minister Modi, because they have seen in past how it boomerangs very badly on the Congress party.
Well, we'll have to wait and watch which trick in the book works and which boomerangs on both the political parties, the senior ones, the bigger ones, BJP and the Congress, as the state of Karnataka goes to polls in just a few weeks. Thanks for watching News 9 Live.